Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, you'll be learning how to make this beautiful bomber jacket with kangaroo pockets, and trust me, the inside it's so neat that you can also wear the inside. So if this is what you like to learn, kindly stay tuned. So the materials you'll be needing for this project is your elastic, your bomber jacket elastic. You'll be needing your doll face satin, your Ankara fabric, and your caterpillar zip. So the first thing you want to do is to take your jacket length on your paper. You can do that on the fabric, but because I want you guys to see it very well, that's why I'm doing it on the paper. So after taking the jacket length, the next thing you want to do is to create your bodies using your largest part, that's the hip, the largest part of your body, to create the block. So I've gone ahead to divide my hip by 4. So as you can see, I'm creating for the back also hip divided by 4, ruling that line. So the next thing you want to do is to take your shoulder to chest line measurement on both the front and the back block. So I'm going ahead to roll my shoulder to chest line, and every other thing remains the same. Remember, we don't need so much on the bodies. So the next thing I'm doing is just to take out my neckline, which I use 3 inches wide for the front and 3 inches deep for the front. And I'm going ahead to take my shoulder measurements on both my shoulder line and the chest line, and I connected just as seen, and I'm taking down my shoulder slope of 1 inches. And the next thing I want to do is just look for the midpoint of my armhole and connect to get my armhole curve as seen in the picture. Alright, so I'll do the same thing for the back using the neckline of 3 inches wide and 1 inches deep, because then the back neckline is not something that you want to deep. And I'm going ahead to take my shoulder measurement and I'll connect same way I did for the front. Alright, so I'm done doing that, and the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and cut out in this bodies for bomber jacket. You don't need it to be shapy because you want it free on you, so it doesn't have to be clingy. So that's why I made use of my hip circumference to create my block, and as you see, that's what I'm cutting out for both the front and the back without shaping. And this is what the front and the back looks like. Go ahead and label your pattern. So the next thing I want to work on is the sleeve. I want to work on the sleeve for the bomber jacket, and here I'll be measuring my sleeve length. I'm actually using my actual sleeve length because I want my sleeve to have a kind of like a puff at the lower part. So now this block I'm creating is what I have using my shoulder to chest line measurement. So that was what I used to create the block, and I've gone ahead to measure my cap size measurement, and I connected straight to the top of the shoulder as seen, and I'm noting the middle part so that I can cover out my um, arm's height, as you can see. So the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and cut out the sleeve. For the sleeve, I'll be shaping a little because I don't want it too bogus. So I'm going in by 1 inches at the M area, and then I'm connecting from the cap's height to the sleeve length to shaping it a little. And as you can see, I've gone ahead to cut out. So the next thing I want to do is to transfer my pattern to fabric. I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what it looks like. So working on the front, you can just work on the back or the front first, anyone, but I'll be working on the front. And don't forget, your zipper will be coming in at that center front. So that's why you can see me leaving some space away before placing my pattern. So I'm leaving half an inch at the bottom, and I'm also adding a sewing allowance of about 2 inches at the side, and at the armhole I'm adding half an inch, and at the zipper area I'm using allowance of about 1.5 inches, the neckline half an inch, and the shoulder area half an inch. So the next thing I want to go ahead to do is to notch my zipper allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut for the back and the sleeve and show you what it looks like.
Are you ready for this one? Echo Mole! 1, 2, everybody sing! Okay, you will love this one. Oh yeah, oh my Jesus. Oh yeah, oh my Jesus. Oh yeah, oh my Jesus. Only you feel right now.
So yeah, the next thing I want to do is to shape out my kangaroo pocket, and in doing so I'll be making use of my half length. I've gone ahead to measure my half length because I want it to come around that half length. So the next thing I want to do is from the center front of the paper. Now I'll go in and mark 2.5 inches for the upper shape. So for your pocket width, you can use 8 inches. Now go ahead and mark out 8 inches depending on how wide you want your kangaroo pocket to be. Then I would from the upper part I will come down by 4 inches or 4.5. Then I'll connect the 2.5 inches to the 4.5 inches at seams with a slant line, just like that. And the next thing I want to do is to trace out that shape on another pattern, so I can use that pattern to cut out, or rather I will just go ahead and cut it out of this pattern so you can see what I mean. So I've gone ahead to cut it, and as you can see, this is what the pattern for the pocket looks like. So I'll go ahead to cut two pieces of it on my Ankara fabric. Don't forget that there is a zipper allowance at the front, so that's why I left out that zipper allowance, of 2 inches. The zipper allowance I used was 2 inches, so I've gone ahead to leave out that 2 inches for zipper allowance, and so I'm adding half an inch round every other area. So I'll cut out and show you what it looks like. Don't forget to notch your zipper area. So as you can see, this is what it's going to look like on the bomber jacket. So I need 2 each for the kangaroo pocket, so making it 4. So I'm going ahead to duplicate the kangaroo pocket so I can have 4 pieces of Ankara fabric, because I'll be needing the other as the lining to turn some areas. So I've gone ahead to cut the lining that I need for everything, and for the kangaroo pocket I'll be cutting out the bomber jacket elastic. I'll be using it to tape the edge of that slant line of the kangaroo pocket. So as you can see, I'm gonna head to cut it out, and that is how I'll be folding it. I'll be sewing on it to get that part. Yeah, the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and sew the black band to the tip of my pocket, and I'll use the lining to turn it so that you see what it looks like. So I'm done sewing the band in between the lining and the main fabric, and that is what it looks like. So I'll go ahead to place it where I want it to rest on my bomber jacket, at that my half length area. And as you can see, this is how I will place it, and I'll go ahead and pin down before I take to my sewing machine to stitch. So I'm done stitching, and you can see this is what it looks like. I stitched down every other part except the pocket opening. So I want to take the waistband of the jacket so that I can know how many inches to deduct from the elastic, because the elastic is quite stretchy. And I'll be going away from some inches from the center front because I want my Ankara to be at that center front, and I'll take the measurement like so. So after taking the measurement, you can decide to either use your waist measurement for your elastic, or you can go as well as deducting 10 inches away from the actual measurement you have on your bomber jacket. So because I have a tiny waist, I'm making use of my waist circumference, and I'll be deducting 6 inches away from the elastic because I want Ankara to be also part of the elastic band at the waist area. So as you can see, I've attached Ankara to complement the elastic as seen, and I'm gonna head to attach it on my main fabric, and I'll be attaching the band to the um lining part of the jacket, and I'm going ahead to notch the center so that I can align this both center to meet each other, and I'll be starting my sewing from that center to this, from the center back to the center front as you've seen. Then I'll go ahead to stretch the excess to meet each other. I'll stretch it out. So while I'm sewing, I'll be stretching to make sure everything matches together. Alright, so this is what it looks like, and the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and insert my zipper. So I'll be running my zipper as seen on my zipper allowance, just like that, and it will be stopping just at that band area. So as you can see, I'll go ahead and stitch, and I'll show you what it looks like. So yeah, I'm done fixing the zipper as you can see, and I'm going ahead to use my lining to turn the tip of the zipper just like that, and I'll pin it up so that you can see what it's going to look like after sewing, using my lining to turn the zipper. And as you can see, this is what the front is going to look like this. So I'll go ahead and sew with my sewing machine, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I've gone to do the both sides, and this is what it looks like, and this is what the inside also looks like. So you can see, so neat. So the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and attach my band to the neck area. So as you can see, I'm measuring the neck area so I'll know the elastic inches to use. I've gone ahead to measure the neck area, and I'll be deducting about 2 inches from the neck area because the elastic band I got is quite stretchy. So I'll be deducting 2 inches from it so that it will give me it will stretch to the exact neck line number I want. So at that edge, I'll just go ahead and curve a little because I want the edge of my band to be quite a little curving. So I'll go ahead and cover that part as seen. And the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and notch the center area of my elastic, and then all I'll do is to align to the main fabric. I'll be sewing the elastic on the main fabric. Just watch what I'll be doing. I'll be sewing the elastic on, and at this point I don't need to stretch because it's going to give me my exact neckline. So I'll go ahead and sew, and as you can see, I'm done sewing the elastic to the main fabric, the Ankara fabric. So I'm trimming out every excess that I might have around there, and I'll go ahead and use my lining to turn the neck area for you to see. I'm going through my armhole. So I'm going through my armhole, and then I'll turn the neck area using the same allowance that I used to sew on the elastic. Okay, so I'm done attaching the elastic to the waist area, the neck area. So the next thing I want to do is to attach my sleeve, and I'll go ahead and bring out my cloth to the front through the armhole area. This is what the inside looks like, and very beautiful, right? This is what it looks like on the mannequin. And the next thing I want to do is to attach my sleeve. So I'll be using the circumference of my wrist area for the band, and my circumference is 8 inches, but I'll be deducting 1 inches because the last band is quite stretchy. So I'm gonna need to cut out the elastic band, and I'll be not using the midpoint to connect to. I'll be sewing from the midpoint so that I can stretch to the right and to the left, as you can see. So I'll do the same thing on the lining. I'm gonna head to sew the band on the lining, and then I've used half inches allowance to sew at the side of the sleeve. So I'm turning the sleeve to the front so that you can see what the front looks like. So this is what the front looks like. So the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and attach my sleeve Ankara to Ankara, lining to lining. So I'll pin the Ankara of the sleeve to the Ankara of the body jacket, and I'll go in and sew using my half an inch allowance. And I'm done sewing the ankara to the ankara part of the sleeve together. So I'll go in now and pick the lining of the sleeve to the lining of the body jacket, and I'll align at that midpoint with my pin so that I don't miss it out. And I'll go through the second sleeve opening, and then drag in to sew using the same half an inch allowance. So I'm done doing that. As you can see, this is what the inside of the first sleeve looks like. We've concealed every part. So the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and sew the second part. So I've sewn the ankara part of the sleeve. So the next thing I want to do is to sew the lining part of the second sleeve. So I'm opening my side seam of the lining. I'll go through that side seam. Watch very well. I'll go through that side seam. So you want to pin the lining of the sleeve to the lining of the body jacket and go through that opening and drag it in to sew just like that. So I'll go ahead and sew using my half-inch allowance, and I'm done doing that. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Use your hemming gum to close up the side seam that was open, or use your needle and thread to tag. If you find this class useful, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button below, and please give this video a thumbs up. Please like, share and comment. See you in my next tutorial. Thank you for watching.